Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, coming live from Fire Up Hearts for Truth. I'm back to visit real quick. It's been a couple weeks or more. I wanted to go a little longer. My station is fully shadow banned. I've had a real run with social media platforms. I don't want to get off on that tangent right now, but I was part of the group, although it was definitely like a small little groups that were going after Zuckerberg and them a long time ago. And therefore I got knocked off of Facebook. Facebook is one of people's most predominant brainwashing sites. And then I've had trouble with other social media platforms. I have a really horrible, scary, corrupt segment of the police after me with some other groups. It's pretty lengthy and involved. Unbelievable in most rights, but one day all the truth is going to come out here very soon. Because there's doctors and lawyers and all kinds of people involved, and it involves extreme danger for women and children. And it's been hidden really well for a long time in my region in Michigan. And once it's discovered, it will really disrupt Michigan even more so. So this is the message I'm getting. It's important that I share it. I feel it will be more of a repeat of things I've touched on before. And that's it. And if there's anything more, I will maybe come back on or maybe not. Because if you're shadow banned, what's the point? Okay. So a list of things that can help you feel active, empowered, and that you are a part of saving freedom in America. Non-violent ways to protest our illegal behaving government. Call reps of choice, local government officials, anyone that has not assisted you as representing you as the people, has denied you access to resources, or do not assist you in an emergency situation, be it it's the police, or you call and you let them know that they need to leave, that you no longer are going to support them. You're not going to use your tax dollar. You want them to resign. They suck at their job and they need to leave. You don't need to get violent. You don't need to make threats. You just simply say you haven't done your job. You're stealing from the people. You're a crook and you need to get out of office. Because they're not putting those in prison that need to be in prison. One that's the actual president of this country. So it's several other leaders. So we're kind of on our own. The people are going to be on their own. This is typical thing of historical times when tyrants take over and the people get oppressed. But there's good news coming, so please hold. Don't leave yet, okay? Because I want to give you a few things that hopefully can help us feel empowered. And when we do this, when we call our reps and we think it and we feel it and we see it and we know it and we see it happening and we envision them leaving, that their corruption will consume them. They are paralyzed in their ability to hurt the people anymore. And they will leave and no longer be of demise to our country of America. Faxes, don't waste your time trying to send letters. The USPS is imploding. The actual national director of USPS is a fraud. And they are disgusting, and it's going to be wiped out. So faxing, I wouldn't even say email is reliable. Phone calls and faxing, your reps, those that you know are corrupt and are following it. Deny data centers and anything that you're not comfortable with. You know it is disruptive and does not follow natural law. Anything dismantling the Constitution. No more red and blue does not exist. Just ignore them. It's such a joke. Natural law, Ten Commandments and the constitutional amendments can take you far. Learn it, know it, feel it, learn to represent it, implement it in your life, live it, be it more every day. Draw closer to Creator God and nature. Jesus Christ is my Savior, He who has kept me alive through some of the most outrageous attempts of my life. And the framings and the attempts at having me falsely framed and imprisoned, and the Lord has somehow turned every bit of it, always around, most of it around, most of it. Some of it got stuck, but draw closer to Creator God, Jesus Christ, every day. I was saved in 94. It was not a smooth road. I am a survivor of SRA and horrible repeated abuses that I have never uttered in the light of day to maybe only one person. And a few times I've spit it out on here. Corruption, most corruption in the churches, so much corruption in the churches, because a lot of them have been funded by the federal government. So then if a corrupt, lying, disgusting federal government is funding, what is going to happen to the churches of America? So that's been an ongoing problem for a long time. And it has gotten increasingly worse. Jesus has obviously had enough. The churches, the corrupt governments, the corrupt institutions will be destroyed. God is purging. Follow God. Follow righteous law. Don't follow murderers' law. Don't follow pedophiles. It is a really bad message to children. We also have to have active workers who are willing to stand against tyranny, to deal with the flocks, to take the chance of being arrested for standing on their amendment rights. We have to retain the Constitution. It's not being retained, so we're going to have to fight for it again for some reason, or start over. I think we're starting over because nobody's doing anything they're supposed to do. The Congress is failing. It is quite disturbing to see this all falling to pieces the way it is. So that then we also have to be part of filling in the gap for those who are not fighting for freedom. Unfortunately, there's going to be so many that keep following the government. And that's our biggest problem right now. So we have to be willing to fight for the freedom of all. 50% or more or most of developed countries are going to be geographically destroyed. Whatever we blame it on, whatever we think it is, God is allowing it to go down, be it it's man-made machinery. They just recently shut down the CERNs. Maybe we could see where they shut down these big devices where they shouldn't have had them in the first place because it's all demonic, and see what the weather did when they shut them down before. And then they have all these other abilities. But see, the thing is that it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter what is what. God is allowing it. Because this purge has to take place. You might as well just say the corruption is over 250 years old here. And really, in a way, in the gist of the world, that's not very long. So we're going to get a real can of whoop ass. Because we were supposed to do it different here, in a better way, with God and freedom and free choice and the freedom to express yourself. But for some reason, there's groups that they decide what that freedom looks like. And so that's the biggest hiccup here, is that there's just too many people that say they believe in freedom, but they actually are tyrant bootlickers. They worship tyrants, murderers, warmongers. So God's doing a purge, okay? And it's going to go on for about 10 years. And the next several months are going to be just outrageous what we see done on the earthly plane, geographically speaking. So 50% of the developed countries are destroyed. I'm talking cities, landmarks, buildings. Unfortunately, this is going to create human casualties. But yes, there's going to be a rebuild. The rebuild's not going to happen for over 10 years. Around 10 years. He's not going to do final judgment. He loves us too much. Back to basics. Those that taught themselves to go without or had to go without will be more content and will be the conquerors of this next event. Some continents will move and shift and separate, all part of the purge. These geographic phenomenons have happened before, but because, yes, of all the interferences and added dilemmas and strain and stress on the earth, this purge will be like maybe one of no other. It will be like the end, but it's not. It's not. And I was one that thought it was the end. See, this is what needs to get cleared up here. Because trust me, I've had a lot of work to do with the Lord on this. Is that, or maybe God, they were going to do final judgment, but there is not going to be a final judgment. Now, will that happen after the 10-year, and then there's a rebuild of the cities, and then the evil regrows itself like it always does, like the most disgusting sight on the planet, because people run so selfish and they want their way. Okay? We do. Some of us can revert back into it like that. So let's focus on the good. There's going to be a rebuild, but this purge. And a lot of the elders that we relied on, some of us relied on for our knowledge and our education and to keep us on the straight and narrow of what true human freedom is, because for some reason that gets horribly confusing these days, is it is because there's so many people, and this is what bothers me the most, is that, and I've probably even done it, is professing freedom, but yet we wouldn't really profess freedom to everyone. See, that's not freedom then. But I'm going to state this very quickly. The countries that refuse to let Islamic theology enter their country or establish or root itself, they don't have the problems that the countries that did allow them to make their temples and stuff are not having the same problems as us. So, I don't know. They don't allow any Islamic stuff to go on. And they don't have the problems that we're having. I'm not blaming it just on that. I don't know enough about any of it, if you want to know the truth. Okay? I just knew it was going bad. And I saw a lot of head wraps, and it seemed like more than normal. And whatever, geez, it must be really bad where they're coming from. They need to wear their head wraps here, whatever. So I guess part of me didn't really care either because I'm just that liberal down deep. But when I saw the abuse though, when I was locked up and all of it, a huge flare of Islamic torture techniques or jihad, it's not America no more. Unfortunately, people are getting the memo late. Those left will know how to live simply and will help those left who need some extra skills to do the same. But most of the people that don't have the skills or the ability to go without won't make it. If you can carry a gun, do so. We're to the point of no return. Everyone should be armed at this point if you care about freedom and true safety and protection. America will be separated into two places, possibly two separate. I don't know if it's going to continue to be. This will be a geographical event too. The geographical event will be kind of a part of it, but we're going to be two separate nations or more. the divide is that great that not just I'm not talking political. You guys, we got political parasites on the brain. We got to get out of it, and we got to get out of the warmongering and feeding the war monster and the deaths. We have to ignore all of them and tell them all to get out of office and to leave. We don't want them anymore. You'd be surprised how it can work. You pray it, you see it, you feel it. America will be, okay, because many say they believe in America freedom. Oh, there was that part. But they're actually tyrant bootlickers. And they suck Satan's dick. The government and most of the churches do, and the police and others, and too many others. The evils after the people are going to create an absolute devastating casualty event at the World Cup somewhere. This will forever brand America as the most unsafe nation in the world. This is necessary shaming on the evil government. Eventually, the people left will rebuild America. Unfortunately, because of the evil, this will harm many good people, and many people's lives will be lost for the fight of freedom again. God loves us so much, He is postponing final judgment, but much of this will feel like we're going into final judgment, or that it is final judgment being handed out. We are exposed, we are vulnerable to other tyrants, countries. We have been exposed, and they're not telling the people. That's why all the excessive explosions and stuff. The establishment has put us in grave danger because of internal corruption. God must punish them. Unfortunately, many good, upstanding people will be harmed or killed in the process. A long time of mourning for America. This event that they're planning, all the tyrants of the world, to shame America for good, because of the mess that's going on, and they're not paying attention. Our own government's more worried about covering their own shit, and this casualty will be beyond all. And I guess that's all I have for now. And so for those of us that endure about 10 years, we'll see a rebuild. We'll see a rebuild if we make it. So there's your good news for the day. Have a good one. But the next couple months to the end of the year, America will be unrecognizable geographically, as it is continuing to be so, but pretty terrifying sight by December. So, all right. Well, I just leave with that terrifying thought. But outside of that, it's really important to connect to nature and God. And pray and pray and pray. And focus on what's good and take each day one at a time. Look at each day as a blessing and to be glad you're still alive. We were blessed. We didn't lose any power. We had no major trees come down, and we could have. There is that phenomenon that has happened for us, is somehow God always keeps us from so far, major geographical catastrophic events. We've had plenty of other devastations to keep us busy at the hands of the government. So, have a good one. And remember, Wouldn't want to be me, and I wouldn't want to be you, but together we can still save human freedom.